Those were my storyboard notes.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry.
No, it's funny.
You guys?
Peter Pan, pick. I'm a stutter a lot. My name is Taylor Kennedy. I'm 23 years old and I'm married to Emily Kennedy, who is 24. We have 2 kids. Our son is 4 years old. His name is Donovan Kennedy, and we've got a 2-year-old daughter named Iris Kennedy. I really enjoy playing video games. Like that's my favorite pastime, and Emily really enjoys makeup, and she wants to try to start her own little channel with it and try to get somewhere to help other people who don't know how to do makeup or whatever. Me and Emily, we met 6-7 years ago at our local card shop where I used to play Magic the Gathering at. I was about to leave the card shop. She came up to me and complimented my hair. Kind of hit it off ever since then. I work in the construction industry doing commercial and industrial HVAC, and Emily works as a retail specialist. I don't know what the hell it's called. She just sells home appliances and stuff at JCPenney's. But she hasn't really been working a lot these past couple of months due to a lot of medical issues coming up. When I found out that I was going to be a dad, I was scared. She was scared too. Neither one of us was ready. I had a terrible job at the time that wasn't paying much. I was still living at my mom's house. I just really was not ready to become a dad because I felt like I was still a kid myself. But after my son was born, I got to hold him about 10-20 minutes after he was born, and I actually started crying. I mean, it was heartbreaking. I loved him. I wanted to do everything that I could for him. And I ended up trying to better up my jobs to be able to try to support us financially more, and tried to help out with everything that I could to try to make sure that they were raised properly. But it was kind of funny how we found out she was pregnant with Donovan. We were in Kroger, and she kept complaining that her boobs were hurting, and I made a joke. I was like, maybe you should take a pregnancy test. You might be pregnant. Whatever. So she ended up taking one anyways, just to be on the safe side, and it came back positive. Emily comes back. She had tears coming down her eyes, and I was like, oh. Eventually, we were able to move out when we found out that Emily was pregnant with our second child. Because I remember I was sitting down and I was playing on my PS4, and Emily came out of the bathroom and she said that she took a pregnancy test and it came back positive, and I didn't know what to do because I was already struggling mentally with one kid. We were about to have another one on the way. The dad stuff was really hard because it's just so much. There's so much. I love my kids to death. They get on my nerves. They destroy the house. They're stressful to keep up with. But I don't think I'd have it any other way. The way they laugh, whenever you get them to smile, it just makes it all worth it. In the end, I love them.
My daddy.
Okay.
No, my daddy.
Last year, we found out that Emily has cancer. She's had these bumps on her neck that have been extremely noticeable for the longest time. And she went to the doctor for them 6-7 years ago, and they told her that she didn't need to worry about it at the time. So she didn't worry about them, and they were also smaller at the time too, not as big as they are now. And when she went to the doctor last year to try to get a hernia fixed, the doctors noticed how big they were, and they said they were more worried about that, and they wanted to run tests on that instead. So they did a biopsy on her. They cut a lymph node that was in her armpit, because they said that those were bigger than the ones in her neck, and they took them in to do some research on them to try to find out if it was cancer or not. When the results came back, they told her that she had non-androgynous lymphoma, which the doctors were extremely shocked about because that's the type of lymphoma cancer that's only found in 60, 70-year-old people. So they wanted to do another biopsy, but one that requires actual surgery where they put her to sleep and cut out more of her lymph nodes than before. And they did that. They did the surgery. They took the lymph nodes and they processed those as well, and it came back same thing, non-androgynous lymphoma. They told her that it was stage 4, but they said the only reason why they're calling it stage 4 was because it was in every lymphome in her body. So they ended up trying to schedule up chemo appointments for her, which 8 days, 9, 10 days ago, somewhere around there, so a couple weeks ago, she did her second chemo treatment. And her first chemo treatment she took, she pretty much slept the whole entire time. She got sick a couple of times, threw up a couple of times, but most of the time she just slept. She was just drained. She had no energy. She couldn't stay awake. She just slept all the days away. This time she did the same thing starting off. She slept for like the first couple of days, and then it kind of died off. Yesterday she wasn't feeling too well. She started feeling really nauseous and wasn't really hungry. And I guess today she felt the same way. Well, we went out and ate Mexican food today, and I guess that started getting to her because she started feeling really sick and got to the point to where she couldn't hold anything down, and she just started throwing up uncontrollably. She threw up once and she came back out, and then she tried to eat something because she knew she had to put something on her stomach after throwing it all up, but she immediately threw it back up. She said her stomach was starting to hurt from how much she was throwing up. I tried to put fluids in her, water, Gatorade, a whole 9 yards, and everything she drank, she threw it back up immediately. So she ended up calling her doctor because she says she hasn't felt that sick since actually going through chemo itself, and they highly recommended that she go up to the ER. So that's what she did. She went up to the ER, and they gave her a bunch of anti-nausea medicine and put an IV in her to keep some fluids in her system. I guess it worked, but now she's laying down trying to rest because her body feels worn out, and she's still really sore and still feels really sick and just still feels in general. Being a video game addict like I am, one thing it has taught me that I can bring into life with me is if the direction you're going, you're finding a lot of enemies, whether it be inside, personally, or actual people, whatever, you're heading in the right direction. So we're trying to stay positive, and we're going to get through this.